Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's do some September favorites. I am so glad that September is over. September was kind of a really busy month for my family. A lot is going on, and I am officially glad to be in October. Hopefully we'll be able to catch our breath. But thank you so much for watching today. I'm going to link everything that I'm mentioning in the description box down below. If you're curious to what it is, make sure and check that out. They are affiliate links. When you do click on those links, I do get a small commission, and it does help to support my channel. So if you're trying to find ways to be supportive, liking things, sharing them with a friend, using the links, that all really, really makes a difference. And subscribing. I almost never say things like that, but I do want to make sure that it does make a difference, and I do notice, and I do appreciate it. I'm going to start with the foundation today that I don't think that I appreciated enough when I first got it. And it's the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. I have the shade N1. I'm wearing it today. A lot of people said in the video where I'm trying this on that it's too light for me. And what you're noticing on my face is a lot of melasma. Now that I'm dealing with perimenopause, a lot of my pigmentation is like coming to the surface. And I'm always trying to match my face to my neck. And I feel like this does a pretty good job. So if you're ever looking at it and like, oh, it's so much lighter than the rest of your face, it's my melasma I'm trying to get under control. And every time I have a hot flash, it just flares up my melasma. So I'm kind of in a pickle right now trying to figure that out. But this foundation, I didn't like it because it felt like it was breaking up on me. And you know why it was breaking up on me? Because I was powdering it heavily and I was putting this over the top. Now, this foundation is supposed to kind of keep oils at bay. And I was like, in what world? Well, this is making everything dewy and glowy. Now, I love this one size, the powder melt. It's great. But it does kind of break down the efficacy of long wearing foundations like this High Glam and ones that are supposed to absorb oil. And what I like about this is that when I don't use the powder melt on it and I'm wearing this by itself like I am today, it is powdered, but I do have some creams over the top. I did powder the whole face very, very lightly, and I feel like that's really all it needs. And I'm not using a setting spray of any sort, and maybe I should be, but I find that the one that kind of ruined things for me when I found this was breaking up like around the nose and on the forehead was that I had sprayed too much of a hydrating setting spray over the top. What I like about this is I don't find this settling into dynamic facial lines. So I have a lot of dynamic facial lines in the forehead. I have places like right through here where sometimes I'll get like foundation, especially like right here. And I'm always kind of frustrated when I see that happen. If I use just a very, very light wash of powder over this stays beautifully all day long. I use one pump all over the face and I really thin it out. It does dry a little bit on the quick side, so I work in batches. So I'll put a pump out on my palette, pick a little bit up with my finger, start to blend it, finish blending with the sponge, pouncing it in where I want it. And I find that that's how it works best. All right, another foundation that I really have been liking this month is this one from RMS. This is one that they kindly sent to me. This is the Sun Cover Up Super Tint. I have the lightest shade in Alabaster. I wore this in my last video and I really like it. That's way more than I need. Okay. But what I like about this is that once it's all blended, it still looks like skin and it's very hydrated. You can still see the freckling through there, but it's a slight layer of perfection, which is what I'm looking for. I don't want to look like a porcelain doll. Anytime I wear enough makeup that it will end up looking like I'm wearing makeup. I want it to look like it's my skin. And so less is more for me as I get older. And this sits beautifully on the skin. Have been liking that a lot. Also, really like the new RMS corrector. This is the Revitalize Hydra Concealer. This is so great. This has a brush as opposed to a doe foot on it, and I really like the brush. I have the shade 0N01, and it's a really, really beautiful, lightweight, but very concealing. Like if I just start to tap, it'll blend in really nicely and take down the pigmentation that I have dotted it over. I have some hyperpigmentation spots on the back of my hand. And this does a really good job of bringing down the intensity of those. It's really beautiful under the eye. It doesn't settle into my fine lines when I set it with powder. I don't ever wear concealer under the eyes without setting it with a light whisper of powder, because I find that now that I'm getting older, those fine lines underneath the eyes always end up, even with products that say they don't settle, it always settles a little bit. And maybe I'm using too much product, but I always set everything with just the lightest whisper of powder. And when I do that, this sits beautifully, doesn't look dry, doesn't end up settling into creases. It wears really well all day long, and it keeps my under eye looking hydrated, which is one of the things I like. Okay, the other product I've been wearing a lot is a Sarah Creal Face Flex. This is beautiful, and you can use this both as foundation or concealer. I have the shade 1.0. They do have a lighter shade now in 0.5, but love this. This has been really good on days when I need to just spot correct in certain areas and I don't want to put a full face of foundation on. I'll swipe this where I need it, blend it in with a damp sponge, or use my fingers to really tap it out and then finish with a damp sponge. Beautiful. I like the look that I get from that. So there's been a lot of foundation products that I've been using this month. And here's something for me is kind of like a blast from the past. And I hadn't used it in a long time, and I hadn't liked it because I always put on too much. And I thought that I wasn't putting on too much, but I was putting on way too much of the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. And I wanted to love it, and everybody else loved it. And I always ended up going, why? Because it made my under eyes look really dry. Really dry. And I was just using too much. So what I've started doing is I've started to use this little puff here. This is from Makeup by Mario. And I'll pick up the smallest amount and then just lightly puff it underneath the eye. And then whatever's left of, after powdering both under eyes, I will powder the rest of my face without picking up any more. Just what's left residual on the puff itself. I really like the way that it sets my under eyes. But I have to be careful that I use the smallest amount. I feel like it keeps things there. It doesn't end up looking dry. And I think that I was just using too heavy of a hand. So I have rediscovered this tail end of last month in late August and throughout September, and have really been liking it. And I get why people are obsessed. I've been loving a lot of red blush recently, and the one that I'm wearing today is the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Blush. This is the Healthy Glow Stick, and I have the shade Cherry Glow. And on the back of the hand, it looks like a lot, but diffused on the face with a brush, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I had a fully set face. So this with just a synthetic brush, picking it up, working it into the bristles of the brush, and then just poofing it on. It's so super easy, but I've been loving this. Also really been liking one of the shades from Merit. This is the Flush Balm in the shade Postmodern. Postmodern has a little bit more of a berry lean to it. It's still a red, but it's not quite as straight up as the Charlotte Tilbury. You can see the difference here just a little bit. And the other one I've really been liking is from KJH brand. I do love the formula of these sticks. These are very matte, where the Charlotte Tilbury and the Flush Balm from Merit tend to have a lot of shine and glow to them. If you want a matte blush, you're going to really like the ones from KJH. This one right here is in Soft Raisin, and it is such a pretty shade. You're supposed to be able to use these on lips and cheeks. I will admit to really using like sticks like this only on the cheeks. I really like the way it looks on the cheeks. It's really quite beautiful. I like that it's a matte finish and that it just blends and blurs away. It's so beautiful. I do have the red one in this. It's Soft Tomato. But I was like, I've been reaching for other red blushes, so I'm so glad I picked up and started using the Raisin shade again. Okay, me and this Balm Essential from Chanel. This isn't new to my collection. I picked up a couple, 3 of these last year. I was gonna say a couple, like, no, it was more than 2. It was more than 2. But my favorite shade is this shade here. This one is the shade Sculpting, and it's like a sheer, do you see how it's just got that glow to it? when you blend it into the skin, it just looks like hydrated, glowy skin. And that's what I have right here. I usually, instead of like swiping it on, I'll just use my fingers and place it right where I want it. This is my favorite shade because I feel like it goes with everything. I do have the one in Dragé, which is pink. I do have a limited edition shade called Moonlight Kiss, which I like. I think that one's also kind of like goldeny pink. I really, really like this formula, but this shade in Sculpting is my favorite. I feel like when I do things right, I'm able to mix powders and creams together. And I've been doing that a lot this month successfully. Sometimes I'll hit a snag and it won't be successful. But the bronzer I've been using the most this month is from Laura Mercier. This is the Bronze Color Infusion. I have the shade number 30 in can. It's the kind of like a middle, light to middle sort of bronzy shade. It does have this sculpting shade here and the glow shade. I really like this, and mine is like, I just started wiping off all the powder around the edges. I've been using this quite a lot. I have this on today very, very lightly around the temples, around the forehead line, on the cheeks, and then a little bit right around the jaw. I feel like this is really great, and to be able to put this on top of a fully set face and then follow up with cream products, I think says a lot about the quality of the products, that they mix well together, and that's always what I'm looking for. I don't want to be limited by formula to only using all creams or only using all powders. I want to mix and match my products, and I can do that when the products are really, really well formulated. And I feel like the ones that I've been talking about today have been really easy for me to reach for, even going on top of a fully set face with a cream. Here is an eyeshadow palette that I rediscovered this month. It's one that I specifically wanted to put into rotation for fall, and it's from Surat Beauty. This is the Beyond Beige palette. Okay, it was expensive. It was expensive, and I don't want expensive, beautiful things to just sit and rot in the back of my drawers. So I pulled it out, and I like I said, I'm going to make a mental note to use this fall. I'm wearing it on the eyes today, and I remember saying in that video, every time I wear this, I feel like a makeup artist has done my look. And I still feel that way. What I have on my eyes today is so much of a light wash. It's like hardly there, but I feel like it's perfect. I feel like it's exactly what I'm going for, where it's not too much, where I'm not trying too hard, where it's super, super easy. And this is just beautiful. I like reaching into my collection for things that I've had for a while, things that aren't new, things that are rediscoveries, and that's what this is right here. And I like making sure that I'm not just playing with what's new or what I have purchased recently, that I go back and I'm using my collection to its fullest. Here is something that was sent to me that I have been enjoying. This is an eyeliner from What's Up Beauty. What's Up Beauty reached out and asked if they could send me their new lip products, and I have them all right here. I haven't busted into them yet. I've been a little bit hesitant because they're matte liquid lips. They're supposed to be comfortable, but I was a little bit worried. But when they were offering to send me those, they said, is there anything else that you want to try or you need a re-up on? And I was like, I'm looking for a really good eyeliner. And so they sent me these. These are their Wind Glider eyeliners, and I have all three shades. The burgundy is beautiful. The black is really nice, but this brown in me, oh my goodness, it's just a gel liner. It doesn't have a sharpener. There's nothing special about it. It glides really well. I love the color where it's warm, but it's not too red. Where it's not so much like an espresso brown that it could almost double as a black. It's a really beautiful brown shade that looks brown, and that's what I like about it. This is one of those gel liners that I can put in the upper waterline, and I like being able to do that. At first, when I first put it in there and I blink, I do get just the smallest little bit of transfer to the lower waterline. And when I take the time to take a Q-tip and wipe that out, then I find for the rest of the day, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just right at the beginning. And if I'm sure if I could keep my eyes open for like 30 seconds to a minute, it probably wouldn't happen. But I don't have that skill. But I have really been liking this. I do really like the burgundy. Let me show you the burgundy. The burgundy is really pretty too. Here's the burgundy. Here's the brown. It does come in black as well, but these are the two shades that I have been reaching for and really, really liking. And the brown one I think is set by this point, but now here I am wiping on it and it doesn't go anywhere. And that's what I like about these liners. They do stay put really well throughout the day. All right, my favorite brow pencil this month is one that is a surprise to me, but I really like it. It's from Morphe. And I saw this at Ulta when I was in several months ago, and I picked it up on a whim, and I just keep reaching for it. And the minute I keep reaching for a pencil is when I know I really, really like it. I wear the shade Cold Brew, but this has a 0.9 millimeter tip. It's very, very small, and it draws the skinniest little hair-like strokes. I did some hair-like strokes here between the two eyeliners, but it does a really great job of leaving like little tiny strokes wherever you need them to be. I really, really like this. I feel like it's a great price. It's $11. And that's what I want from a brow pencil, because I go through brow pencils quickly enough that I don't want to be paying $30 or $40 for a brow product. It would have to be miraculous, like nearly doing my brows for me. This is a great job. It has the nice formula. If you don't twist up too much, she doesn't break. So I twist up a little bit and I'll go through and fill in right where I feel like I need it. And then brush it through with the spoolie on the other end, and I get the perfect brows. They wear really well. Also dealing with hot flashes, and the last thing I want is my brows to melt off when I start perspiring from the top of my head down, and I end up pulling something like this. I've done that before, and other brow products don't last. This one lasts really, really well. I have been liking this. All right, let me tell you about my lip situation. I've got 3 different products on today, and I've been doing a lot of comboing, and everything almost always starts out with this. This is the Archival Signature Liner from Merit. This only comes in the Archival set. The Archival set has a lip blush and one of their shade Slick Sheens in there. I think the set is like $50 or $53. I will make sure and link it down below. And I've been using the lip oil and the lip blush a lot, but this liner, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so mad when I'm done with this liner, and the only way to get it again is to buy the set, or when the set is no longer available, because I love this shade. This shade is so pretty. It's such a pretty kind of cool mauve shade. So beautiful. So I have this on the lips today, and then on top of that, I picked up this from Phytosurgeons, and they stopped shipping to the US for a while. Guess what? They're shipping again. So if you live in the US and you've been wanting to try things from this beautiful indie Canadian brand, feel free that you can ship. They're shipping to the US again. It is taking a little bit longer, and they said that the tariffs don't apply to their products because they have a special agreement, because most of their materials are sourced within Canada. They're not imported from other countries and then put into the mix. But this is their lip conditioner, and this is the shade Crash Cadence. I love this brown shade. So even just these two together has been great. I have those two on, and then I said, you know what, I need a little bit of color. Let me pull in one of the lipsticks I specifically pulled for fall that I wanted to wear more, and it's from Hermes. This is the shade number 66, Rouge Piment, and it is a satin lipstick, but it's a bright red. But mixed with the other two colors, it comes out like this. So it doesn't feel quite as bright and aggressive as it would on its own. It's kind of toned down. It does bring life to the face. It goes with the red blush I had on. Man, I forget how many beautiful lipsticks I already have in my collection, and instead of buying something new, it's fun to be able to just pull something out and go, yeah, let's use that. Another lipstick I have been loving is this MAC lipstick. This is a Luster Glass formula. This is the shade Alone Time. It's so pretty, so pretty. And if you're looking for something that's cool, that has kind of those fall vibes, it is a really pretty shade, but it's very understated, but gives kind of a slightly grayed out lip. And I really have been liking it. It's so pretty, especially with that lip liner from Merit, loving that. Also, another lipstick that kind of surprised me that I picked up a while ago and I just haven't been able to stop reaching for is this little Revlon number. This right here is the shade number 755 Bear It All. I picked this one up when I was in store at Ulta, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I really, really like it. The reason I like swatching things at Ulta is because my Ulta, and I'm hoping most Ultas, will have swatchable lipsticks at the drugstore end of things. I'm used to having samples to try and play with and to swatch, in the prestige and the luxury brand. But the minute we're getting to drugstore, sometimes I have to just look through the clear cap at the top and go, am I going to like that? I don't know. But I like that at Ulta they have the ability, they have all of the swatch and testers out so you can just swatch to your heart's delight. The last lipstick that I have really been enjoying is this one. I should have put this one in my fall lipstick countdown and I missed it. I completely brain out the window. This is the Rouge Experience Lisa Eldridge lipstick in Bohemian Cherry. And I love this shade. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I was wearing it in a video this month and it just reminded me of how many great lipsticks I already have and that I don't have to rush out and get something new all the time. It's nice to go through and go, yeah, I remember getting that. I remember wanting to wear it in the fall. I'm like, yep, more of the Bohemian Cherry because she's so pretty. So the fail for me this month was something that I really was rooting for, and I was hoping that it would be fantastic. And it was these guys from Prime Prometics. They very kindly send me a box full, like jam-packed full of all sorts of things. I like their eyeliners. I like their mascaras. I don't know that I'm in love with anything, but I was really hoping that I would love these. And these are eyeshadow sticks. These are called their Prime Eyes Brightener. And they sent me 5 shades. And the problem I had with these is that they actually crease on me. And I would hope that since this is a brand that's focused on people who are in our wiser years, more mature skin, that they would make things knowing that, texturally, we're looking for things that aren't going to settle into the fine lines. That also blends away to nearly nothing. If you like a very barely there, I think you would like these. But they glide really easily on the lid, but I find that they settle in the crease. And I didn't really care for that. I did like the lighter shades when I used like the lighter shade like right in the inner corner of the eye. I felt like that was nice. And I'm not getting any creasing there. So I do have a way to use these. Has it stopped me from wearing them? No, because I have still been wearing them. I just don't love them. And I think that once they move out of my What's New box, I don't know that I'm going to be reaching for these. So these were a little bit of a disappointment to me. But it was still nice to be able to try them. That way I can report to you what was worth it and what kind of let me down. Favorite book this month, I have to tell you, I have been reading Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown. It's another Robert Langdon book. If you love those books, you would really enjoy this. I go through seasons of, I'm just about, and I can feel it. I'm just about to hit a season of nonfiction. I will read too much fiction up to a point and then be like, I need to read something real. And I feel like my next book is probably going to be a nonfiction book. But I really loved Secret of Secrets. I always like the idea of, a very smart person figuring things out as they go along. Secret of Secrets was fun. It's Robert Langdon and a friend of his, and they're trying to figure stuff out. It involves the CIA. It involves, foreign travel. It involves Penguin Random House. It's really interesting. I love it so much. I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you like the sort of, oh, we have a problem and Robert Langdon is there and it's time to start the chase and figure things out. Like it kind of goes through those same things all the way through, but it keeps me guessing. It kept me guessing the whole way. And it was really, really entertaining. Is it the most serious book I've read? No. Was it a fun, easy read? Oh yeah, it was. A TV show that I watched this month that I absolutely loved. It's fairly new. It was at the tail end of September that it came out. It was called House of Guinness. It's on Netflix. And it's the story of the founders of the Guinness Brewing Company. And it says it's inspired by real stories. So I'm sure there's a lot of artistic license taken where people just, write whatever they want. But there are a lot of things that were real, that were incorporated into the show. But even if it wasn't, it would be just such a lark and so much fun to watch. If you like a period drama, it's set in Dublin, Ireland, in the mid 1860s, I think. It was just really, really a fun watch. It's only 8 episodes. It went pretty quickly for me, but I kind of just like hunkered down and was like, I need to know. So I will admit to binging that, but it was really fun. I liked it a lot. I'm glad that fall is here. I'm so excited that we are solidly in fall and I can start wearing sweaters and loafers and long sleeve shirts. I'm definitely looking forward to the weather cooling off just a little bit more and really, really easing into my fall clothing, and I'm so excited about that. I would love to know what your favorites were for September. Let me know in the comment section down below. If there was any makeup that you tried that was a hit or a miss, I always love knowing that. But I also like knowing, what's your favorite morning ritual? What was your favorite outing this month? What was the thing that you did that brought you the most joy or the most peace? I would love to know what those things are as well. Thank you so, so much for making the time to watch today. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.